Starting a successful YouTube channel in 2026 feels absolutely impossible for most people. You look around the platform and what do you see? You see saturation. You see millions of creators fighting for the same eyeballs. You see high-budget production teams that look like Hollywood studios. And you see an algorithm that seems to change its mind every single week, destroying channels overnight. You are told by the world that unless you get lucky, unless you go viral by accident, or unless you are already famous, you simply do not stand a chance. But I am here to tell you that is a lie. What if I told you that luck is actually just a math equation that you haven't learned how to solve yet? What if I told you that virality isn't magic, it's engineering? Welcome to the YouTube growth system. This channel is not about guessing. It isn't about throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. It is about cold, hard data. In this very first video, I am going to do something that most gurus would charge you $5,000 for. I am going to hand you the exact step-by-step 15-part blueprint I am using to take this channel from 0 subscribers today to 100,000 subscribers in record time. This is the roadmap. This is the manual. If you follow this, you don't need luck. Pay close attention because class is in session. Let's get one thing straight immediately. The old advice you've been hearing is dead. If you are still listening to those motivational gurus who tell you to just post consistently and just be yourself, you are walking straight into a trap. That advice is how you burn out. That advice is how you end up with 500 videos and only 50 subscribers. That strategy worked in 2015 when there was no competition. But today, posting consistently without a strategy just means you are consistently failing. You cannot treat this like a slot machine, pulling the lever and hoping for a jackpot. You have to treat this like a media company. The system we use on this channel is built on 3 non-negotiable pillars: data, psychology, and retention. We don't hope people watch our videos. We force the algorithm to serve our content to them by hitting specific engagement metrics that the computer cannot ignore. Step 1 is market research. And to be honest, this is where 90% of creators fail before they even record their first frame. Most people pick a topic because they like it. They say, I like video games, so I'll make a gaming channel. That is a recipe for disaster. You don't just need a topic. You need a blue ocean. You need to find a specific corner of the internet where the demand for content is massive, but the supply of quality videos is low. How do you do this? You don't guess. You go to Google Trends. You look at your competitors. I want you to look for a specific signal. Look for channels that have small subscriber counts, but massive view counts on their recent videos. If you see a channel with 2,000 subscribers that just posted a video with 50,000 views, you have struck gold. That is a gap in the market. It proves that the audience is desperate for that content, and the creator didn't win because of their fame. They won because of the topic. Do not create content in a vacuum. If there is no search volume, there is no growth. You are not trying to create a wave. You are trying to surf a wave that already exists. We validate the niche with data before we ever turn on a camera. If the math doesn't make sense, we don't make the video. Before you film a single second, you need to know exactly who is on the other side of that lens. I call this the avatar. Most new YouTubers make the mistake of creating content for everybody. But when you try to speak to everyone, you end up connecting with no one. You need to be hyper-specific. Are you talking to a 15-year-old gamer with a 6-second attention span who loves memes? Or are you talking to a 45-year-old corporate investor who is worried about his retirement portfolio? Those are 2 different languages. They require different editing styles, different pacing, and different vocabulary. You need to know your avatar's fears, their desires, their enemies, and exactly what problem keeps them awake at 2 a.m. The YouTube algorithm is actually very simple. It is a matchmaker. Its only job is to find the right video for the right person to keep them on the platform. If you don't know who that person is, you're giving the algorithm bad data. You need to visualize one single person when you write your script. Talk to him. Talk to her. Make them feel like you are reading their mind. When a viewer feels understood, they don't just watch, they subscribe. Step 3 is your unfair advantage, your visual identity. In the world of YouTube, people judge a book by its cover. In fact, they judge it in about 3 milliseconds. Your channel page is your landing page. It is your storefront. When a viewer clicks on your name and lands on your channel, you have roughly 3 seconds to convince them that you are a professional worth following. If your banner is pixelated, your logo is messy, and your thumbnails look like they were made in Microsoft Paint by a child, they are gone. They will click back and never return. You need to establish authority instantly. This means having a consistent color palette that triggers the right emotion. It means having a clear value proposition in your banner art. Tell them exactly what they get if they subscribe. Is your vibe dark and mysterious? Is it bright and high energy? Is it clean and corporate? Choose one lane and own it. You are building a brand, not just a folder of random videos. If you look premium, people will assume your advice is premium. If you look amateur, they will assume your content is trash. Dress your channel for the job you want. This is a step where the amateurs separate from the pros. Most creators grab a camera, shoot a video about whatever is on their mind, and then try to think of a title later when they are uploading. That is completely backwards. In the growth system, we never, and I mean never, script a video until we have a winning title and thumbnail concept first. We use a tool called the ideation matrix. We force ourselves to write down 10, 20, or 30 ideas just to find one that is worth making. We run it through a checklist. Is this topic trending? Is it controversial? Does it promise a clear transformation? Is there a curiosity gap? If you cannot package the idea into a compelling wrapper, it does not matter how good the content inside is. You could have the cure for cancer in your video, but if the title is boring and the thumbnail is dark, nobody will ever know. We spend more time planning the packaging than we do writing the script. If the idea isn't clickable, the video doesn't get made, period. Let's talk about the single most important asset you have, the thumbnail. This little rectangle is the gatekeeper to your success. You can spend weeks editing a masterpiece, but if the thumbnail fails, the video gets 0 views. We follow the 3-element rule for high click-through rates. First, you need a focal point, usually a human face showing a strong emotion like fear, joy, or shock. Humans are biologically wired to look at eyes. Second, you need contrast, bright colors on dark backgrounds, or saturation that pops off the generic white YouTube background. Third, you need a story element or a curiosity gap. The text on the thumbnail should never, ever repeat the title. That is a waste of space. It should complement the title. If the title asks a question, the thumbnail should hint at the answer. If your CTR, click-through rate, is below 4%, YouTube stops promoting you. It is that simple. Your thumbnail is a promise, and it needs to be so compelling that scrolling past it feels like a mistake. Your title is not a summary of your video. It is a hook. It is an advertisement. If you title your video, "My Thoughts on Diet Tips," nobody cares. That is boring. But if you title it, "I stopped eating sugar for 30 days and this happened," suddenly you have a story. You have stakes. You have a result. You need to use power words and psychological triggers. Words like secret, banned, mistake, exposed, or blueprint. You need to keep the important keywords near the front of the sentence so they don't get cut off on mobile screens. We focus on pattern interrupts, titles that break the autopilot mode of a user scrolling through their feed. The goal is to create an open loop in their brain. The human brain hates unanswered questions. If your title poses a puzzle, the viewer feels a psychological itch that can only be scratched by clicking your video. Don't be descriptive. Be provocative. Don't just tell them what it is. Tell them why it matters. Once they click, the clock starts ticking. You have the first 30 seconds to earn their attention for the next 10 minutes. This is step 7, the hook. If you start your video with, "Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe," you have already lost. That is dead time. You must start in media res, Latin for in the middle of the action. Deliver on the promise of the thumbnail immediately. If your title is about a car crash, the first frame of the video needs to show the bumper flying off. If it's about a secret, tease the secret instantly. You need to verbally and visually confirm they are in the right place. We use a technique called the payoff tease. Show them the end result first, then go back and explain how you got there. If you don't hook them in the first 8 seconds, your retention graph will fall off a cliff. YouTube will see that people are leaving and they will stop suggesting your video. You are fighting for attention. Fight dirty. Don't write paragraphs, write beats. Step 8 is about script structure. A YouTube script is not an essay. It is a roller coaster. We use something called the J-Cut method. This means we keep the story moving forward by constantly introducing new information before the current topic is fully finished. Do not fluff your content. If you can say it in 5 words, don't use 10. Every sentence must justify its existence. If it doesn't add value, humor, or context, cut it out. Every section of your script should end with a mini cliffhanger that leads into the next section. We script specifically for the goldfish attention span. You have to assume your viewer is bored and ready to click away at any second. Your script needs to be tight, rhythmic, and absolutely relentless in delivering value. We don't give them a chance to breathe until the video is over. Step 9 is avoiding the gear trap. I see so many people waiting to start their channel because they think they need a $3,000 Sony camera or professional studio lighting. That is an excuse. That is just fear disguising itself as perfectionism. Here's the absolute truth about production value. Audio is 50% of the video experience. People will forgive grainy video. They will forgive bad lighting. But they will instantly click off if your audio is echoing quiet or sounds like you're recording inside a tin can. Your minimum viable product is a decent USB microphone and your smartphone camera. That is it. Content is king, audio is queen, and the camera is just the court jester. Do not let gear hold you back. Some of the biggest channels on this platform started with a webcam in a messy bedroom. Why? Because their content was undeniable. Focus on the message, not the medium. Buy a microphone, stand in front of a window for natural light, and hit record. The camera is an energy vampire. It steals 20 to 30% of your natural charisma and flattens it out. That brings us to step 10, filming energy. If you talk to the camera the same way you talk to a friend at a coffee shop, you are going to look bored, tired, and uninteresting. You need to be 120% of your normal self when the record light is on. You need to speak louder. You need to articulate your words more clearly. You need to use your hands. You need to vary your tonality. Go high, go low, speed up, slow down. If you feel slightly ridiculous and over-animated while you are filming, it will probably look perfect on screen. It feels weird at first, but you are a performer now. You are an entertainer. You need to command the screen and transfer your energy through the lens and into the viewer. If you are low energy, the viewer will go to sleep. Wake them up. So the edit is where the video is actually made. You can save a bad recording with a good edit, but a bad edit will ruin a great recording. Step 11 is about dopamine hits. Silence is the enemy of retention. We cut out all the ums, the ahs, the pauses, and the breath gaps. This is called a jump cut, but it's more than just cutting silence. We use B-roll, text overlays, sound effects, and zooms to reset the viewer's attention every 5 to 10 seconds. This is called a pattern interrupt. The human brain ignores static things. If you are just a talking head that never moves, the brain tunes you out. This isn't just about catering to a short attention span. It's about engagement. You need to visualize what you are saying. If you talk about money, show money. If you talk about a graph, show the graph. The edit should feel invisible, but it should keep the viewer in a flow state where they lose track of time. Step 12 is the upload process. A lot of people waste hours trying to find the perfect tags. Let me save you some time. Tags are mostly dead. They don't matter anymore. Focus your energy on your description and the first comment. Use the description to feed the algorithm keywords. Write a natural paragraph that includes your main keywords so the AI knows exactly what your video is about. But the real secret weapon is the pinned comment. Use the pinned comment to drive engagement. Ask a specific, controversial, or easy-to-answer question related to the video. What is your biggest struggle with YouTube? Let me know below. You want to start a debate. You want to start a conversation. Comments are a huge signal to YouTube that people are emotionally invested in your content. The more activity your video gets in the first hour, the wider the algorithm pushes your video to new people. Finally, we have the call to action. The system works, but only if you execute it. We are going to prove it right here on this channel. This isn't just a theory. This is a laboratory. My goal is to get 1% better with every single upload, and I want you to do the same. If you want to see if we hit 100,000 subscribers or if we crash and burn, you need to hit that subscribe button to follow the journey. We are building this live, in public, with total transparency. I will show you the wins, and I will show you the failures. Now, you have the roadmap, but you still need the specific tactics. If you want to understand exactly how to hack the algorithm for your specific niche, or how to design a thumbnail that gets clicks, you need to watch this video right here next. Click it, study it, and let's get to work. I'll see you in there.